At the beginning of this administration, the Ahmed Jordans Committee, upon conclusion of its findings, announced, and I quote, "We found corruption everywhere." This reality is beginning to take its toll as the President Buhari's administration attempts to move on with the task of nation building. Days after, President Buhari blew the whistle that the nation's treasury trove has been grossly depleted, with the excess crude account put at $2.1 billion amidst the deep concerns over unpaid salaries. The federal government then swings into action by setting up a four-man committee to look into the books of the NNPC and the excess crude accounts. According to findings, it was revealed that the NNPC only remitted 4.3 trillion naira in 3 years, while it allegedly withdrew 3.5 trillion naira. While President Buhari vows to recover all looted funds in the short term, there is a need to address deep groans of economic hardship across the nation. In a bid to end the lingering crisis of unpaid salaries, the President has ordered the release of 3.5 billion naira, being proceeds from the liquefied natural gas, to be shared amongst the three tiers of government, while 300 billion naira is to be processed as loan facility for the state government in addition to the debt relief package of 660 billion naira for the state's restructuring. What is the bailout from this economic dilemma? Welcome to Question Time. You may also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Apparently worried by the dwindling fortunes in the nation's revenue, the Nigerian Senate recently invited the chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Samuel Ogungbesan, for a briefing which is centered on raising revenue in bridging the yawning gap in the Federation accounts. It would also be recalled that many financial experts have called for an effective tax regime as a bailout of Nigeria's economic downturn. With a turnover capacity of 4.6 trillion naira from the FIRS in 2014, is Nigeria's tax administration well positioned to address the shortfall in the nation's accounts? We had a chat with the chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Samuel Ogungbesan. It says with the right structure on ground, the Federal Inland Revenue Service is ready to go. Let's find out how. Mr. Samuel Ogungbesan, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Question Time.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
Recently, the Senate, apparently worried about a dip in federal government's revenue, invited you for a chat. Could you tell us some of these areas you delved on?
Well, our understanding was that it was necessary for us to meet them since it's a new Senate that is coming in. And of course, they want to know what we as a revenue agency has been doing. And we made a presentation. We talked about where we are now against the budget of the government for 2015. And in addition, we presented some of the challenges that are beleaguering the tax administration system today. And of course, they did ask if there's any particular area where we will be requiring the attention. And we had the opportunity to explain some of this to them. So it was a very friendly discussion. And we had an understanding that we had supporters, at least now in the National Assembly.
You talked about the challenge the FIRS has experienced so far. Could you shed more light on this?
Well, we have a mandate, which is to continuously provide revenue to the coffers of government. We also have a responsibility to ensure that we're helping to build an investment-friendly environment, working with NIPC and CAC. We have a responsibility to ensure that as much as possible, our actions promote voluntary compliance. So there are a whole lot of things you will expect the tax administration to do. If we are not achieving these thresholds that have been set for us, then you want to ask us why not? Where we are not having sufficient engagement with taxpayers, we know what to do. But when MDAs, stakeholders in the Nigerian tax system, are not cooperating with us, those are challenges.
Are you suggesting even ministries, departments, and agencies that should be a partner in progress with the FIRS could also be involved in sabotage? Could you mention these ministries and departments that are involved in this sabotage?
It's not sabotage. It's just that people are not aware of what the law requires them to do. For example, we want to develop a taxpayer database, which enables us to have a view of all taxpayers in Nigeria. That requires that the 36 state revenue authorities will have a role to play here under the platform of the Joint Tax Board. Each of these revenue boards at the state level is required to assist in the registering of taxpayers in their domain. You set a number for them to register. If they have not over a period of time attained that standard you've set for them, that's a challenge, isn't it? Because it will not enable us to deliver the mandate. So we have to continuously engage. There are those who are required to, on a monthly basis, or as and when the transactions are happening, remit withholding tax deduction or value-added tax deduction to government. They will withhold quite all right. They deduct, but they delay in remitting. Not that they fail to remit.
Are you now suggesting that the FIRS does not remit directly into the Federation accounts?
No.
Okay,
agencies of government who are supposed to deduct taxes from the income earned by contractors do deduct but delay in remitting to government. That is a challenge to increasing the revenue flow into the basket of government. That's what I mean. We do flow, all the money collected by inland revenue is swept automatically into the central bank account on behalf of the Federation account. We don't hold back a dime. And at the end of every month, after reconciliation has been done, as to how much we have actually collected, a percentage of that, as approved by the National Assembly, is given to the inland revenue. We do not interfere with the process of collection.
You may also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. What is the prospect of flying the idea of increasing luxury tax? Find out when we return.